Perspective is a really interesting thing, and what's amazing about it is that everyone's perspective is unique to them. And perspective is actually one of the building blocks for collectible investing and Pokemon investing, and the reason why they work in the first place. Now let me elaborate. When I switched from a more casual Pokemon collector and Pokemon game player in early 2023 to a more Pokemon investor, I was a big fan of Crown Zenith. I love Sinnoh, and those are the games that I actually started playing when I was a much younger kid, so Crown Zenith naturally was the set that I enjoyed the most. And back then, Crown Zenith ETBs were worth around $40. Then they got reprinted and they tanked all the way down to like $30 in ETB, which sounds absolutely crazy today since MSRP is $49.99 and people are like clawing at each other just to get products at MSRP. And market for the most recent set, Destined Rivals, is like $80 in ETB at this point. But I digress. They tanked down to $30 in ETB because the reprint for them was really, really large. At first, Crown Zenith was a really well-received set. ETBs were worth around between $40 and $50. And then this reprint really tanked their price. And there was lots of people saying on the internet that they were overprinted. This set was printed to the ground. Pokemon just overdid it with this one. And because of that sentiment, demand for these ETBs at $30 a piece was much lower than it was at $40 a piece, which is a really interesting thing in the Pokemon space, where when something gets cheaper, people actually don't want it. And we hear a lot of people on the internet complaining about how expensive Pokemon products are nowadays, but when Pokemon products are affordable, most people aren't interested in them. And as an aside, Journey Together is a great example of this. No one is talking about Journey Together. No one wants Journey Together. People don't care if Journey Together is $60. People don't care if it's $50 in ETB or $200 a booster box. Everyone complained about Prismatic Evolutions being $130 in ETB, and then we get Journey Together, which is a $70 ETB with a pretty strong set. It doesn't have the crazy chase cards of Prismatic Evolutions, but it's a solid set for a fairly affordable price. And guess what? No one wants it. Everyone wants the most expensive thing in the hobby. But I digress. Back to the story. I love Crown Zenith. I love Sinnoh. I was big into buying the chase cards. I also bought the full gold set from V-Star Universe in PSA 10. And I was buying ETBs. I was buying mini tins. I was buying the Galarian Birds tins and some of the other collection boxes. I think there's a Regieleki, like a Morpeko or a Pikachu V Union. I don't fully remember. But I was buying all this stuff back when no one wanted it for MSRP because they thought it was overprinted and it was garbage. Then gradually the supply of Crown Zenith got eaten up because one, it's a great set, and two, the hit rates are really good, so a lot of people like to rip these packs. So the actual supply of sealed products like ETBs tanked really quickly, faster than a lot of people expected. So we saw them break the MSRP barrier, and then they got a lot more eyes on them. And then these new people in the hobby, or people that just hadn't been paying attention to Crown Zenith, were like, wow, this set's really great. It's really undervalued. It's $60 in ETB. I'm gonna buy a bunch of these. Then they rose again, breaking $100 per ETB in January of this year. And a lot of these new people in the hobby made this decision where they could either buy a Prismatic Evolutions ETB for $130 and get probably 0 hits, or they could buy a Crown Zenith ETB, which is much older, and get 5 most likely illustration rare style or special illustration rare style hits. And since then, there's been a bunch of people on the investing and the collecting side of the Pokemon space being like, Crown Zenith is undervalued. Better buy these up before they go to $150. And then would you look at that? They hit $150. And now newer people in the hobby who just started collecting or investing are like, man, I want to go back and I want to get some of the Alt Art Sword and Shield sets, like these iconic sets for either a sealed display or to rip and have fun with. And they look at Crown Zenith and think, well, it's not going to get reprinted anytime soon. It's a great set. $150, that's a pretty good deal. And that is how a new floor price is established. There's always this saying in hobbies and collectibles, specifically collectibles, that people cycle in and that most people last between 8 and like 12 months in a hobby before they either lose interest or it becomes something they do like very sporadically. And while it might seem like this would hurt investors and that people are just leaving the hobby constantly, it's actually one of the main reasons why Pokemon investing works so well. When a new person comes into the hobby, they have no price memory of what these products were 3-4 months ago, even years ago. They have no price memory of any of that. When they see the prices of these products for the first time, that becomes their baseline. So a lot of the people that are coming into the hobby right now, or will come into the hobby when the Mega Evolution sets get released later this year, they'll see Crown Zenith ETBs at $180 a piece and go, okay, I guess that's what they're worth. Crown Zenith is a really good set. Everyone says it's a really good set. The chase cards look really cool. I guess it's worth that. This new baseline and these new perspectives almost act like a safety net for these products, where new people that got into the hobby and they see these ETB prices, Crown Zenith being $180 each, they're like, wow, that's pretty expensive. I don't know if I'm willing to pay that right now, but it is a really cool product and it just sits in the back of their mind. Then, say in 4 months, Crown Zenith kind of drops off a little bit. It was a little overvalued for the sake of argument. It drops down to $150. This same person might go and look back at this product and be like, well, it used to be $180 and I really wanted it then. Now it's $150. Maybe I'll pick it up. It's kind of a bargain at this price. Meanwhile, just 2 years ago, these were $30 a piece. And if you told someone that they would have to pay $50 or $60 for a Crown Zenith ETB, they would think that you were insane. And I just think the psychology behind why this works is so interesting. And I don't often see a lot of Pokemon investing YouTubers talk about it. Usually it's just, these products are going up, these products are crashing, it's all this stuff. But the actual reasoning for why collectible investing works often gets overlooked. And I promise you, I'm not just going to talk about perspective and ramble on about stories from the past 2 years like, oh, back in my heyday, these products were dirt cheap. No, we're going to actually look at some cards that right now I think are heavily undervalued, and we're also going to look at some sealed products that also, in my opinion, are either overlooked or undervalued, and we're going to talk about the psychology behind why I think they're being undervalued and why I think there's an opportunity here. So with that being said, let's get into my first example. So this is going to be 151 cards right now. Sealed products as well. I think 151 sealed products are a great investment long term. I'm personally buying some right now just because they're getting reprinted right now. This is probably one of the last waves of reprints we get for 151 since it's going out of rotation in probably less than a year. 9 months or so, I believe, is when rotation comes around. And because of this, because we're getting a ton of Blooming Waters with GameStop, Blooming Waters with Target, mini tin displays, those got released on Walmart. We're seeing mini tins kind of out in the wild as well. Bunch of restocks of these products are causing the sealed prices to go down, but they're causing the single prices to absolutely tank. And might I remind you guys, 151 is one of the best sets we have ever gotten. It is one of the most complete sets we've ever gotten. It's one of the most collectible sets we've ever gotten. Everything about this set is really, really strong, and you hardly see anyone complain about it other than complaining about the price of the sealed products. And when we look at the top chase cards like the Charizard EX from this set, and we see it's down 25% in the past 3 months, we think, this thing is crashing. Is it going to continue to crash? Who knows? I couldn't tell you if it's going to rebound the next week, if it's going to rebound in the next month, or it's going to be 6 months before we see this card up above $200 again. But what I do know is that right now this card is cheaper to buy in English than it is in Japanese. And guess what? The story is the same for the Venusaur and Blastoise. Their Japanese copies are $10 more expensive than their English versions. And obviously the reason for the English side dropping in price is because we keep getting reprints and restocks of the sealed products for them. And funny enough, when we see huge reprints of a product or retracements in price for top chase cards, people just turn their noses up at them. As soon as it's not shooting up 20% in price in the past 3 months, people are like, ugh, that card is garbage. Let me pay attention to the cards that are going up 100% in value right now. That's what I want to buy. There are seriously people right now buying the Latios and Latias GX tag team as an investment for $2,000 each. And sure, could this card go up to $3,000? It's possible. I'm not going to say it's guaranteed, but the time to invest in a card isn't when it's gone up 83% in the past 6 months. It's when it's dirt cheap or it's flat. We often see these Pokemon cards and Pokemon sealed products move up in steps. If we look at the Giratina V here, it becomes really, really obvious. We see this card shoot upwards in price, retrace a little bit, shoot upwards in price again, and then retrace a little bit. It literally makes steps. When all the hype and all the focus is on a card or on a sealed product, it's probably being overhyped. And if you're thinking about investing in it at that point, you've probably already missed the boat. The time to buy isn't when YouTubers are making a bunch of videos about it. If PokeRev makes a video about a card or a sealed product, you've probably already missed the boat on it. We've seen most of the tag team alt art cards shoot up in price across the board recently. And now I've seen a lot of people asking both me and just asking the internet in general, ooh, should I buy this card? Do you think this card is going to go up another 20-30%? But in reality, we're probably at a top in the market for these tag team alt arts. Now, maybe This card that you chose shoots up another 20-30%, and you were right, you got it right. But what happens in 6 or 7 months when nobody's talking about the tag team alt arts? They probably retrace a good bit in value. Single cards are really just volatile in this way, where hype just jumps around from era to era or type of card to type of card, and we see them shoot up in price, and then we see them retrace. But it really seems like everyone just wants to invest and collect in what's hot right now. The key to investing is buying something that isn't hot, something that people are ignoring or just overlooking right now that in the future they'll come back to and be like, ooh, I really want that. I never bought it, or I wasn't paying attention and never picked one up, but now I want one. That is where the money is made. Buying tag team alt arts right now isn't going to make you rich. If you bought them 7 months ago when everyone was talking about Terastal Festival and Prismatic Evolutions and hyping that up, yes, you probably doubled or tripled your initial investment. But at this point, the ship has sailed. I know I've done a lot of rambling, so here's another card to look at. This is the EV promo from the Prismatic Evolutions ETBs. Right now it's down 55%. The main reason for this is because Prismatic Evolutions ETBs got a huge reprint. We see them in Costco's, we've seen them in Best Buys, and because of that, the promo card is tanking in value because people already have one and they're ripping the ETB for the packs and they don't really care about the promo. They're just looking to make back a little bit of their money that they spent on the ETB. If there was a time to invest in this card, it would be now. This is an extremely well-loved Pokemon in Eevee, and overall, it's an adorable illustration rare. The fact that it's $5, to me, that is just an absolute steal. But obviously, the general Pokemon market right now and the collectors in general see this as an abundant card. It's a $5 card. It's not going to be an exquisite binder piece that's super rare or a talking piece. But in 4 or 5 years, when most of the people that are in the hobby right now are no longer in the hobby, this card becomes more rare, and we see it creep up in value just like the Galarian Birds promo from the Hidden Fates ETB. The biggest tip I could give to anyone who's new to Pokemon investing, and maybe I'll make a video for like tips for beginners in Pokemon investing or what I would do if I just started again, is look where everyone else isn't. Things like this Eevee promo, no one is talking about it right now because it's dirt cheap. Things like Journey Together, no one is talking about it because it's close to MSRP. No one really cares about it. Cards like the Zapdos Special Illustration Rare from 151, under $50 right now, no one is talking about it because there's no hype in it right now. As soon as 151 dries up and people are no longer able to rip it to complete their master set or rip it just to have fun, these cards are likely going to trace upwards in price. We'll no longer see introductions of supply to keep their values down, and we'll probably see these cards get really, really expensive. Did you know that the Umbreon VMAX from Evolving Skies was once a $200 to $300 card? Yeah, it was. At one point, it was $200 to $300. The card itself didn't change. Evolving Skies as a set didn't change. The only thing that changed was time and the people in the hobby and the perspective that they have. But that's all I got for today. I hope you guys enjoyed my rambling, and if you didn't or did, let me know down in the comments. I'd be happy to ramble on in a bunch more videos. Anyways, as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and stay safe out there.